Hey everybody, hope everyone's doing well today. Today we're going to start looking at our lesson number 17, and we're going to be looking at creating kind of our final professional write-up. Big goals today, and what we're doing for the lesson is we're going to be using some different revision techniques now in the next couple days to identify any errors you have in your writing and help create your final professional write-up. Big idea here, ladies and gentlemen, is just using these techniques to make sure your final product looks good, sounds good, and is good. Okay. If you're watching this video, obviously you've clicked on the link for lesson 17 and you're looking at this Google form. You've already selected your class period and you've already selected obviously your name and you've clicked on task 3 and you're watching this video. So let's talk about what the first task in terms of revision is going to be. And that's just focusing on creating a final professional product. Just like we would with any of our projects or any of our big assignments, professionalism is important. And we're going to look at how to make a professional paper. Many of you have done this already. This is just a time to make sure that our final product looks good and is ready to be submitted and represents us in the best way. So first and foremost, what we're going to start with is having you guys take all 5 of your paragraphs and make sure it's on one doc. Many of you already have that. You're good to go. So that was a quick fix and ready. And that's something you're ready to move on from. If you're not somebody who has all 5 paragraphs in one doc, they're split up or they're all over the place, pause the video and take all 5 of your paragraphs, copy and paste them together. So you should have your introduction, your body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, body paragraph 3, and your conclusion. If you have all of those together, let's go ahead and move on. At this point, many of us have been doing different things throughout the write-up to help organize ourselves, to keep us on task. We have done different skeleton things, and we need to now take whatever paragraphs, whatever they look like, and make them uniform and looking the same, okay? So a couple things that we need to do. First and foremost, before anything you do, you need to format your text, okay? Meaning you need to go and check the spelling and grammar before you do anything else. Make sure everything's spelled right. Make sure if there's any big grammar errors, they're fixed. Use the tools at your disposal to make this easy for you, okay? The second thing we need to do is we need to make sure that, like I said before, everything is uniform. So we need to do some very simple things, like make sure all the lettering is the same color, okay? If you change the lettering, obviously it needs to be black. You need to make sure that everything is the same size. Most teachers like anything between 11 and 14 font. I don't care as long as it's all the same and it's 11, 12, or 14, totally up to you. I'm going to go with 12. From there, we need to make sure we have the same font. If for whatever reason your font was different and changed, let's make sure that it is a readable font. Nothing fancy, nothing that needs to be bolded, nothing with swirls. Yes, sometimes simple is boring, but remember, part of having a professional write-up is allowing the people who are reading it to be able to understand it, okay? So we have same color, no shading, format in terms of size and font. Now let's look at the next part. We need to make sure that all of our paragraphs are indented at the start. So I should be going to the first paragraph and hitting the tab button to indent, finding my next paragraph and indenting, making sure every single one has an indentation to indicate where my paragraphs start. Again, this is about communication. I'm communicating, hey, these are my paragraphs. These are my big ideas that I was focusing on so that the reader understands what we're looking at. From there, we should also be looking to see, do we have anything that isn't a part of our paragraphs? So a lot of us like scaffolded our writing by like copying and pasting the questions, or did that skeleton version where you answered and then looked at the next one and answered. We need to make sure that obviously those are all deleted and gone so that we only have our paragraphs in our full writing, okay? The next thing we obviously need to look at then is having the same spacing. Obviously, some of this looks a little wonky for many of us. So the way we do that is we go to Format, then we go to Line Spacing. Most teachers, and honestly, anyone who writes papers knows that 1.5 and double spacing allows you to read it a lot easier and makes it easier to understand. So I don't care which one you pick. I'm going to use 1.5. I think it kind of gives it enough spacing where you can read it very easily. And from there, we need to make sure that all of our paragraphs are together. So notice, final paper, write-up, so to speak. I have all my paragraphs. They're all uniform. It has all the right indentations, good spacing, and it looks like a final write-up. So hopefully that was a quick, easy kind of, hey, let's just take our paper and make it professional. If you're somebody who's looking at all of your paragraphs and you're like, holy Moses, like I need to go back and make revisions and do that, that's fine. Take the time to do that, okay? But as of right now, you should be looking at your final product completed, okay? So that's the first part of today's lesson. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Otherwise, go ahead and move on to the next task.